Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If this content is helping you, or if you know someone that may benefit from this, how about share it? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about total obedience and partial obedience. What is total obedience? And the reason that I decided to do this is because a lot of us, even including me, feel like, okay, I'm in total obedience with God, but at the same time that you know that God is asking you to let something go, whether it's a habit. In my case, it was a habit, smoking cigarettes. And I knew, and I still know, that He tugging on me to let that go. I have worked on it numerous times, different situations, and still trying to this day. Like, I feel as though I know until I get in total obedience with letting go of those cigarettes that my breakthrough is on the way. And that is why some of you guys feel like I feel stagnated and don't know what to do, because um, that habit, I feel as though it is what's holding me back. A lot of times we look at things as, oh, well, I'm not sinning, but sometimes the weight or the thing that is stopping you from moving forward into everything that God is calling you to be or do, that thing in the middle, whether or not it's a sin, it is a sin whenever it stops you from being able to do what God has called you to do. And for a long time, I was looking at it like, okay, these cigarettes is just an idol, this and that and the third. But no, I clearly can't take it with me. And I called my brother and I was telling him about how I am struggling with that area so much. Like, it just feels like God took everything else away. Right? He took everything else away from me. But those cigarettes is the hardest thing that I feel like it's the hardest thing in my life that I ever had to do, and I want to do it. My mind says I want to do it. I had to admit the truths about it and all these things, right? So I came to the conclusion of doing a segment on or content on total obedience and how that also is a vital area in our life that you should, work on and keep working on till you done everything that God has told you to do. But here's the thing, a lot of us, even including me, had that partial obedience, and it's just like, okay, God, I did X, Y, and Z, but this right here is so hard for me to let go. And I feel like I don't even try hard enough, and it's not about me trying hard enough. It's about me actually having discipline and sticking to what I say I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. Knowing that this is the thing that God is asking of you to let go. Now, your thing could be weed, it could be a person, it could be you going places, it could be coffee, it could be anything that God is requiring of you to let go. You need to just let it go. Not that it's going to be habits are never easy to get rid of, but we have to try and keep trying, but not in our own strength. We have to allow the Holy Spirit to empower us, and we have to have discipline. And I lack discipline in that area. Here, God, you can have everything out of my whole entire life. You can have my life, but this area right here, I want to keep. But at the same time, it's no longer that I want to keep it. I'm trying to get to the root of that thing that is causing me to keep wanting it. You understand what I'm saying? What triggers, what is it that I'm doing that I want to just continuously to smoke a cigarette? Or why do I keep going back to that relationship or that guy or that girl after God has told me to leave it alone? Sometimes things like trauma, you have to change your mind, renew your mind whenever you're trying to break free from something. And also praying and fasting is another good way to get rid of bondages and strongholds. But you have to tell the truth, and you have to hold yourself accountable for what it is that you know that God is trying to tell you to let loose. And for me, it's cigarettes, and that is what I'm working on this week. I actually came up with a plan that I have to read and see every single day. So, with that being said, that is today's topic: total obedience Why holding on is holding you back? Because for me, I do know for me, when I finally get free from this, door is going to open up. Your obedience is on the other side. Your breakthrough is on the other side of your right now obedience. And I know it is. Okay, so let's get into it. What is total obedience? Many believers struggle not because God is silent, but because we refuse to release what He already asked us to let go. Partial obedience still equals no. Partial obedience still equals disobedience. God is calling us into total obedience, not for punishment, but for our protection and progress, right? And that's why I was telling you guys about me. I oftentimes use me as an example because a lot of this over the last 10 years before I even knew exactly what God was doing, I was already doing a lot of writing. I absolutely love to write. I have books, I have notebooks. I love to write and I love to read. So I was already writing down a lot of information over the last 10 years. And now I'm seeing why I was writing those things down, because now I can just go back to my books and see what did I struggle with or what am I struggling with now, and I'll pull it back out to help me, for it to help me in that moment. But now I can make workshops out of it, or content out of it, to allow you guys to also know and hear what's going on, because I'm not the only one that struggle with these things. You have people that struggle with low self-esteem. You have people that struggle with addictions, sex, all of that. And if God is telling you to let something go, we have to get in the mindset of being obedient and honoring Him and let it go, because what He has in front of us, or our future, is way better than what we're struggling with right now. I have to tell my mind, I have to know that this is temporary. I can deal with this for right now, because what's to come is better and bigger, you know? And it's not that life then it's going to be all peaches and cream, because it's not. You're going to always have a battle. You're going to always have a fight, but you're equipping yourself in the Lord to overcome and conquer that fight, right? Okay, so um, I'm gonna give you the scripture that I used for that obedience as well. If you are willing and obedient, you will eat good of the land. That's Isaiah 1 and 19. Okay, so when God says let go, but we hold on, sometimes we cling to relationships, habits, environments, or even old versions of ourselves. But anything God highlights is something He intends to heal or remove. Holding on creates internal conflicts, and it do. But for one, for me, it makes me frustrated. I'm miserable half of the time when I know what I need to be doing, but why do I not do what I know I need to do? Why don't I let this habit go? And with me asking myself that question, I'm sitting down with God, writing down what I feel, why I don't let it go. Not letting go will have you stagnated and stuck in the same spot. And this for me has almost been 9 months. Now this for me has been over a few years. I did quit one time for a whole month, and something happened and I went back, and now it's harder. So it's just like, God, what do I do? What do I do? And it's not that God didn't already deliver me from it. It's me still holding on to it and not disciplining myself when I want to go buy a pack or whatever the case may be. I need not to go it. I don't die down myself. I don't sacrifice it. I don't starve my flesh. Soon as that thought come up, I'm going to get it. And that's not what we need to do. We need to starve that thing for that little amount of time that we're going to starve it and keep it moving. Replace it with something else, right? So with me trying to not to with me trying to be in total obedient, what am I replacing it with? I am trying to write down different content and spend my time talking up here in order to not even think about it, right? To not even think about it. So Disobedience leads to misery and frustration, and that is true. I have witnessed that for many, many, many times. Disobedience leads to misery and frustration. Um, a lot of times, you thinking it's God or something you doing that is frustrating you, when it basically is you not letting go of that thing God told you to let go of. So it's not that He's not moving, it's just that you're not obeying. You're not obeying what He's asking you to let go. Ignoring God's instructions births emotional and spiritual frustration, because sometimes when you do not obey what God say do, you will be feeling a disconnect, a distance. That is true. Even if you're reading your word, you're still going to feel that disconnect or distant between you and Him. So now you're feeling like God has left you or He's silent. But you need to get aligned, yourself aligned to what God is saying for you to do. Because if not, you're not going to move. That is just plain the truth. And if you move, you're not moving into what God has called you to do. He's just giving you what you're asking for. If you get what I'm saying. Like if you're in disobedience and He's telling you to leave something behind, He's not going to give up on what He said and still move you in that same direction of what you need to do that He has for you. So at some point, you need to align yourself and just let it go so that you can get the full fulfillment of what God has for you. Okay? And it's not to say sometimes you can miss it, but not to say it won't come back round. But look how much time you done delayed. And me too. Look how much time you done delayed. Okay? So, you may feel stuck, restless, or constantly drained because you're carrying what God already told you to release. Spiritually resisting God always makes life heavier. And I felt that. I felt that. I feel that. So that's why I made this video, because um for at least 2 weeks I feel that. I feel heavy. I feel lost. I feel like, what am I not doing? What am I doing? What more you want from me, God? That is what I asked Him, and I had to sit and be honest with myself. I know it's the cigarettes. I know it's the cigarettes. I know it's this habit. So, what is your vice? What is that thing that you're holding on to that God is asking you to leave? Whether it could be a relationship, it could be friends, it could be family. But I know for me, I'm miserable. I'm frustrated. I'm stuck. And I'm not stuck because God not moving. I'm stuck because I refuse or not not discipline myself enough to stop smoking, right? Okay, so what's the next thing? You cannot move forward until you obey God. Breakthrough is often waiting on one act of obedience. God cannot bless what you refuse to surrender. When Saul partially obeyed, he lost what God wanted to give him fully. To obey is better than to sacrifice. First Samuel 15 and 22. And that is what I'm saying. I have to constantly read that part over. You cannot move forward until you obey. And I'm getting that in my mind because I'm to that point now. I'm tired, Lord. I'm tired, and I'm trying to get to that point where, okay, I am starving my flesh from the 3 to 5 minutes of cravings and replacing it, because I know when I come out of this, because this is what you wanted, um, I know some doors and peace and all this other stuff is going to open up because I'm now in total obedience. You have to surrender everything to God. Everything. It is only one act of obedience. It's one thing He's asking you to let go or free yourself from that you will not do. And that is what's keeping you stuck. That's what's keeping you miserable. That is what's keeping you angry. That is what's keeping you lost. That is what keeping you asking God, what? And He's not going to give you a new what, because He already told you the what in the beginning to get rid of or remove or let go of, right? Obedience unlocks peace, direction, and acceleration. Once you finally release the thing that God has been nudging you about, clarity comes, and that's where I'm stuck at right now. I have no direction. I'm just doing this. I know what I need to work on, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Um, Once you finally release the thing God has been nudging you about, clarity comes, peace returns. God begins opening doors that were previously blocked. And see, that's the thing. God will leave you stuck for 6 months, a year, until you do what He asks you to do, as far as letting that habit go, letting that person go. Because here's the thing, habits, especially whenever you are a vessel being used by God, you can't take that with you. I know I can't take that with me. But I'm asking God to get to the root of it, because once it's gone this time, I don't ever want it back. I even got to the point where I was so frustrated and crying, like, why did I even pick up this habit? You just got to be honest and sincere with God too. But you also got to try. You can't make excuses. And I was making a lot of excuses. I was making a lot of excuses. Your next level is connected to your next step of obedience. Anything God is asking you to let go of is something He never intended to be permanent. You cannot walk in your future while dragging your past. You cannot. And that's why forgiveness is so important. That is why forgiveness is so important. You cannot walk into your future holding on to grudges and past trauma in order to be who God created you to be, and to live life like He told you to live it, and get your full potential benefits and helping other people in the kingdom. You have to be whole. In order for you to be whole, you have to be in total obedience and work on your healing. Whatever trauma you went through, you just have to. It's a lot of people that are preaching that's in partial obedience. It's a lot of leaders. It's a lot of people that are telling you and I about what to do, but behind the scenes, they're in disobedience. You got to get in obedience. And me too. And me too. Obedience is not about losing, it's clearing your hands so you can receive. What is it God is trying to give to you, but He cannot give it to you because of your disobedience or your partial obedience? And that's what I was in, partial obedience. And all this time I'm thinking I'm in total obedience, not even thinking that this habit, the cigarette habit, would have this big of effect on me. Number one, God did not give me that. Number two, cigarettes or habits, especially cigarettes or drugs, are not healthy for you. It's no good. God is not going to give us or have us addicted to something that's no good for us or may make mess up our health. He's not. So once you know exactly what God is asking you to let go ahead and let go of it. Even if you have to get a journal and journal it down whenever you smoke or when you do this, or what's the triggers around it. Write that stuff down so you can avoid it, and you so that God can give you the full benefits, whatever it is that He's promised you, whatever He's going to do in your life. If you When you get rid of it, that's when you'll be able to receive. You're not a bad person because you're having a hard time letting go of habits. He knows that. But the key thing is trying and get disciplined about that habit that weighing you down. And not all the time that it's a sin that's weighing you down. It could be a weight, it could be a burden. Take it to God. Talk to Jesus about it and leave it at His feet, and put everything you got into it, and ask God to replace whatever void it is or whatever habit it is that you need to be replaced Replace it with Him, His Word, His worship. Because anytime you take something away, you need to replace it. But replace it with something positive, something that's going to benefit you, something that's going to uplift others, something that's going to also uplift you and watch the change over your life. All right. So if this information is beneficial for you, just hit the like button, share it to somebody you think may be able to use it, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a good one.